Mm, mm, mm. Yes, it's the morning cryptos. Got to look at the markets today. Someone has to do it. I guess I have to. I don't really want to, but I'm gonna. So let's start the music. Oh, people. I feel the pain. You feel the pain? Things are not going the way we thought they were going to go. We thought it was just going to be to the moon from here on, and everything that we would invested would absolutely make us money. And we're having a little bit of a down day here. However, I don't think all is lost, and Bitcoin is actually behaving like it's kind of supposed to. I mean, it is moving up this trend line. It's just not moving up parabolically the way we are used to it moving up. So anyway, before we get into all that, let's check the news. I've got a couple of little news items that have bubbled up while I was getting ready to do this, but let's first look at Google. Bitcoin struggles, bears back in town, right? So now when all the headlines are saying bears back in town, what's next, right? This from 2 days ago on CNBC, Ripple will be bigger than Bitcoin if it hits $7. Why is that lingering? There's no new news that they have to just keep, somehow Google is lifting that one up to the top. Ripple bigger than Bitcoin, Ripple bigger than Bitcoin. So you see how the media, I mean, the banksters own the media. So you're going to hear about Ripple more than Bitcoin. That's one of my theories. Again, I'm a conspiracy theorist here. Where there's money and power, the banksters are not going to go away easily, and the governmentalists are not going to go away easily. So, you know, as a budding anarcho-capitalist, libertarian, voluntarist, free-thinking person, let's not be too naive. It is a big world. And news, BTC, Bitcoin price watch staying the course. Okay, whatever. I got some other stuff. This is interesting on CoinDesk. And CoinDesk articles are so short, they're perfect for us ADD people, but they're also not very in-depth, just so you know. Venezuela's planned petro cryptocurrency is illegal, says the Venezuelan Congress. This is not a cryptocurrency. This is a forward sale of Venezuelan oil. So that's probably not going to happen. However, don't even think. Don't even think. Yeah, I want you to think. Just imagine if every government said, you know what? We're going to outlaw cash. We're going to outlaw paper money. Because paper money's bad, right? However, we will have our own cryptocurrency, just like Ripple, that basically has unlimited supply, but will lock down some of it in case we need more of it to fight a war or something. And then we'll just release more of it. Oh, it's exactly what they're doing now with paper money, but they're just going to do it digitally. So that's another reason why we need Bitcoin to survive and thrive, or at least something like Bitcoin Cash that is maybe perhaps truer to the true thing. That's, who knows. But anyway, just wanted to drop that thought in for you so we can start with some controversy now that the markets are kind of not performing ecstatic stunts of acrobatic aerial feats going parabolic every second. We can actually take a step back and think about some news here. And then the next little piece here is that Bitcoin fees near zero as company launches mainnet Lightning payments. So evidently, a few companies are starting to use the Lightning Network. And I don't know, I'm not a tech guy. So that's interesting. Supposedly payments are going through quickly and with very low fees, but there's only like 2 places in the entire universe that are even doing that, and it's all test stuff and it could crash, right? So it's not really ready, but somebody wants the news to get out that it's coming, right? So don't lose hope in Bitcoin. So it should be interesting to see if Bitcoin responds to this. So I'm not so much a news guy, but every once in a while these things pop up on my Coinigy charts, and I thought, why not? We'll talk about it a little bit. So let's go back to the actual pictures. I like pictures. A picture's worth 1,000 words. And essentially all we have with Bitcoin is a market that went crazy before Christmas, and then there was a big sell-off, and now the market is kind of climbing back, just not as fast as we thought. Oh, that's what they're all doing right now. The ones that go parabolic, there is a cooling off period afterwards. And I am learning to not jump right back in. And I've made that mistake a couple of times now of being too eager to jump back in thinking, oh, it's only going down a little bit. Because what's the difference between this little thing that's going down? Let's see if I can make it bigger. Okay, without making myself nauseous. All right, so we had a big up, and then this moved down. This was the 10th of December, I believe, if I'm not totally mistaken. Yep. So it went up and it came back down, and okay, let's get back in. Boom. If you got back in here, you would have done fine. But if you got back in here, it would have gone down lower, and you would have had to freak, right? So knowing when to get back in, that is an inexact science, people, and that's why all these indicators, as fancy as they are, they still do not foretell the future. But they're a lot of fun to look at, and it's a lot of fun to say Bollinger Bands. So let's slap some Bollinger Bands on this old baby and see what happens. Ooh, it looks like a big snake or an intestine. Yeah. See, the Bollinger Band's not telling me much other than it's down at the bottom line of the Bollinger Bands. Let's get rid of the Bollinger Bands. People, we can have fun. The markets will return. We're only down a little. All right. When I get to Cardano, I'll tell you what I did, and you can enjoy laugh at my expense. But we did have a boost down, and it looks like it's kind of trying to come back here, right? And if we go to the 1 day chart, for me, the simplest indicator sometimes just helps me. You know, I imagine that this is an inchworm and it's climbing up a stick, right? It can go high for a while, but then it has to come back down, grab the stick, and lift itself up, for a little bit, and maybe takes a couple of little steps, right? And I think, and I could be absolutely, totally, bizarrely wrong, but I think Bitcoin is getting ready for a move, but it may take longer than a lot of us want. We may have a sideways thing here. We may have a little wedge. Let's see if I can get my drawing tool to do what I want it to do. We may have kind of like this, right? We may have that. We may have a double top. We may have it, squeezing in. We're just not used to that, but we'll see. And I'm going to get rid of that. Oh, I can do that there. Boom. Nope. Okay, let's see if I can do it. Oh, look. Now I got rid of it. Oh, I'm learning how to use a chart. So, I don't think all is lost, people, but I'm glad I got out here, when the last time it boosted up a little bit. I was like, I can't take it. So I didn't have the patience to just hang on, watching all my profits go down and then hoping that maybe it'll come back up. So I'm really learning how serious I have to be about protecting my profits. When I take profits into Bitcoin, I have to either put them into US dollar tether, or I have to just send them over to Coinbase and put it in my US dollar wallet there, so that I have that resourcefulness source, that place, a war chest. And I still haven't really quite gotten into that swing of doing that. So I'm learning. So that's the other thing, is you want to somehow take your profits in a way so you actually have something to hold on to, right? If this all goes away. And I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying you want to prepare, you want to plan every day as if you are at war, right? And you want to be prepared for any eventuality. You don't want to be anxious about it, but you want to consider lots of different possibilities and scenarios. Not just, oh, it's just going to go up. It's just going to go up, right? Because it may not always go up, right? So, so those of us who are new and we are learning, this is a big lesson. And it's a big lesson for me. And nobody gets it right all the time. A number of my people that I listen to, Data Dash, as well as Crypto Investor, they predicted that Bitcoin would start taking off again, and it hasn't yet. So nobody knows, people. Nobody knows exactly what's going on. So you have to really do your due diligence. You have to make moves that you feel comfortable with and that make sense for you. And just be aware of your emotions. On the RSI with Bitcoin, it's not down. It has not, punctured down through this 30 on the one-day chart. On the 1 hour chart, it has. Let's look at the 1 hour chart again now. It has gone down twice, 3 times, almost 4 times. So that could indicate that it's time for it to get back in the saddle. And it did punch down through this trend line, but now it's right back up above it. So we'll see what happens. And again, this is Bitcoin, people. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. The thrills, the spills, the action. So yeah. All right, enough of Bitcoin. Let's look at some stuff that I think is setting up. I really think Bitcoin Cash is getting ready for a move. A couple of other people mentioned it. Data Dash mentioned it as well. Not that his word is gospel, but it's kind of nice to hear someone who thinks deeply about this, who has a lot more experience than me, kind of echoing something that I figured out on my own, right? And this beautiful long wedge, I think, I got in way too soon, right? And this beautiful wedge, and it's all about the timing. Is it about to go, or do you have another day? Do you have another week? How do you know, right? If we knew that, we would be gazillionaires, right? So ultimately, it's a question. Is this one gonna go? And I think it's gonna go, particularly if Bitcoin continues to be slow and expensive, and the Lightning Network is not ready. That's like someone tossed that news crumb out there, trying to give people hope that Bitcoin is not, is not crap, right? That what the Bitcoin core developers have been telling us, wait for the Lightning Network, it'll all work together. Yeah, but I still think we are some distance away from that, and I don't know for sure. But Bitcoin Cash is here today, and it's available, and it's fast and cheap, and that's how I've been moving stuff around. I take it out into Bitcoin Cash and move it over to Coinbase or whatever, and that's, we could start using Bitcoin Cash between each of us and make payments to each other, and it would get done. The job would get done. And it has all the same features as Mama Papa Bitcoin. It's just faster and cheaper, and hopefully more decentralized, but we don't know 100% about that. So anyway, Bitcoin Cash, I think it's going to pop. Let's look at the Bollinger Band so I can say it a few times. I'm not seeing any squeeziness. There was a little squeezy over there, and it popped a little bit, but we seem to be right smack in the middle of the Bollinger Bands. So I don't think there's a whole lot to be learned from it. So we're going to turn it off. The moving averages, we are just kind of, up and down, crossing up, crossing down, crossing up, crossing down. Looks to me like it's tightening up. Like it's tightening up and getting ready to pop. We did have on the RSI, again, I'm practicing this, people, so if this is boring to you, please understand, sometimes boring makes you money. And it has touched down on the 1 hour chart 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and it's gone over the 70 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So what does that tell you? It tells you it's kind of going in the middle, moving along in the middle. So if you can get in anywhere it touches or comes down to this yellow line up here, you're probably going to do okay, right? And right now it's right smack in the middle. So if it goes up and down, see if you can get in when it goes down. That's, buy low, sell high. See what happens, right? That's my mind working. All right. So, let me go back to it. Let's look at it on a 1 day chart just to get a perspective, in-depth coverage that you've come to count on. And again, on the 1 day, sideways trading range. And the beauty of a 1 day sideways trading range is it has a lot more stored energy than the 1 hours, right? And if the pattern shows up in the 1 day, it's seems to be more dependable, right? But all we have is the 50-day moving average because Bitcoin Gold is young. And it's been dropping in volume too, which is kind of interesting, but you also want to get in when the rest of the market is not paying much attention. So, and essentially it is on a trend line, gradually, slowly, ever so gradually moving up a little bit, sort of. Let's move it in. Snug it up there. And it's not a bad entry point if you think it's going to pop. And I think it's going to pop because we have these 3 tops in it. And it's just been very quiet here. So, and again, it could just be going to nowhere and no one wants it and it could be crap, right? However, in this market, everybody's looking for something that is ready to pop. So I have a feeling that people are going to come and start buying down here. So we'll see. All right, that's the 1 day. Let's look at the 1 hour. And on the 1 hour chart, we have come down to the support twice. And the 50-hour moving average has dropped below the 100 and 200. And the 100 and 200 are just really close together. So that's really very average. It's averaging. And we did come down here and touch below the 30. But strangely enough, we came back down and didn't touch the 30 there. So who knows? Who knows, people? That's all I'm getting. All right. So Shazam Shazupa. Let's go back to the 1 day charts and let's grind through these here. Let's go to Dash. Dash working its way into a sideways channel. Again, sometimes Dash takes a while to get set, and I think it needs to. I think Dash is really expensive. I think it needs to kind of go for a while in a sideways range, and we'll see. But it is closing down and tightening up, so it could pop. That's the thing. You don't know. We don't know. The market seems to have a mind of its own. And Dash has come down to hit support twice on this, visual trend line that I've drawn. And let's look at this RSI thing. It has come down and hit the 30 on the RSI. Okay, so does that mean it's getting ready? We don't know. The 50 hour is below the 100 and the 200 hour. Okay, so what does that tell us? It tells us it's in a sideways trading range, right? And could you make a swing trade? Let's say you get in down here at where it is today at 1050 Satoshis, right? No, US dollars, What am I looking? Oh, I'm looking at Dash. I was looking at Bitcoin Gold. Okay, more coffee. Gotta have more coffee. All right. So let's say it comes. You just pick some Dash up at 1,054, and it goes up to 1,242, and doesn't go anywhere. If you got out there, boom, you can make a little money. However, is it holding? The likelihood of it going lower seems to be fairly limited because the bottoms are higher. That's how I'm thinking. It doesn't mean it's true, people. It just means that's how I'm thinking. That's my logic here. We have tops. We have a double top, so that's kind of holding stuff down. So it seems like we have a little range to go here. Again, we have a little bit of room for some sideways action still. So, okay, what's going on? Don't lag on my computer. There we go. Get rid of this. Boom. All right. So that's Dash. I don't know if the Bollinger Bands tell us anything, but there's a nice little squeezy down on the Bollinger Bands, but it's not that squeezy. So, whatever. Yeah, I think it's a setup, people, but I just have a really hard time imagining that Dash is not going to spend a significant amount of time at this huge high price to get used to it. It just feels like it needs to get used to it. And I could be wrong. It could go to 2,000, right? It doesn't feel very possible right now, particularly this week. Let's go to EOS. Let's look at the one-day chart. Oh, look at that. It's very, very... You can see when you look at the one-day chart how up these things are, you know. And it's not like it's finding some resistance, but it's also going up in this nice channel. This nice little channel here. So, you know, but it's holding its value. And EOS is like the only one that I'm still holding, mostly because it's in my Exodus wallet. And every time I want to move it or exchange it, it says temporarily unavailable because it's an Ethereum token at the moment. And when Ethereum gets clogged with those crypto kitties or something else, and Ethereum's like going crazy right now, it makes it hard to do stuff on that network. So when this stuff really works and everybody wants in, it gets totally bogged down and slow. But EOS is going to fix all that when it launches its mainnet in June, which is a long way off, right? So I think EOS is doing pretty good for a token that hasn't even been launched yet. You know, that's pretty damn good. So what's going on here? We have the 50-hour touching the 200-hour right here, crossing down. You know, we've had higher tops, but it now keeps coming back down to this support. But it's higher on the support than when it last touched it, right? So if you're just looking at a trend, it's kind of up, right? Whether it doesn't seem to be an entry point. I kept looking and going, should I get more EOS or no? And I'm kind of saying, probably not. So we did touch down to the 30 in the RSI right here. And but this one's above the 30, even though it's not much above it here. I don't know. And again, this is only my second week using these indicators, and I was going to move on to some other indicators, but I just got distracted because my phone just dinged. It's my landlady saying the guy's going to come fix the back door. All right. So, yeah. Okay. Where was I? I got distracted. Man. So, yeah, I don't know. And I'm just, I don't know what to tell you, people. We're having a down day. Except for Ethereum. Ethereum's rocking. And it just keeps going up. And I keep thinking, okay, that's it. Right? So how do you know? How do you tell the difference between what's going up? And don't these people know not to text me in the morning? Jeez. God. I'm very busy. I'm a very important, busy man. Don't text me in the morning. Jeez, wait till I get done with the morning cryptos. Jeez. All right, so Ethereum, I don't know what to tell you, people. It's going up and up and up. And not a good time to get in. Don't chase these. That's the one main lesson I have learned. Do not chase them when they're up. And the question is learning that and learning what is up. Even though it looks like it's in a pullback. Here we have IOTA on the 1 hour chart. Beautiful, beautiful sideways range, and it has really come back down and tested, but popped right back. A lot of red here, not pretty. But this bottom is higher than this bottom. If we were to draw a line just between these bottoms, it's not as up a trend as we had charted, but it is still up. I think that's good news. And then over here, I want you to kind of see this. You know, we have a decent amount of resistance right here at 4.45-ish. So it looks to me like IOTA is also working into a sideways range. And we're kind of at the bottom of that range. Might not be a bad time to get in. I don't know if it's a good time, but it looks like it could be a good time. All right, and it has slammed down on the 30 3 times recently, and it's only peaked above it once, twice, 3 times since Christmas. So IOTA might be getting ready for a move. Good project, early enough in it. It's at a decent price. You know, it's not $3,000 or $15,000. You can get yourself some IOTA. Seems like it makes sense, right? It has hit these tops, but so you got room between here and its last top. You got some room if you wanted to do a swing trade and get in and then get out. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know what your plans are. And again, none of this is to be construed as financial advice. Should write a song. Just have, none of this is to be construed as financial advice. Oh no, none of this is to be construed as financial, whatever. It's too early. And on the 1 day chart, IOTA looks pretty good. We have this longer trend line, but it boosted like crazy. And again, like all these markets, it seems to need, after a big boost, to kind of settle in on the new price. And I think that's healthy, but it could go for a while, right? It could go for a while, or it could pop tomorrow. That's the big question. And I don't know if I've shed any light on that, but that's what I'm struggling with right now, is when do I get in? I tend to get in too soon after these big boosts. I tend to be too optimistic, and I tend to get sucked in by the euphoria and the excitement. So I'm trying to learn how to chill a little bit, but it pisses me off when I'm not in and the market takes off and I haven't positioned myself. So that's the catch-22. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking about IOTA. Let's go to Litecoin. Litecoin is working its way into this beautiful little wedge here. And I think it's doing the same thing. And it's getting used to this new price. And it's going to seem, I think it's going to hang around in the 240, 230, 260 range while it gets used to it. It's moved up. It's like, you make a change in your life, and then you have to get used to the new way it is. I've said that before. That's hypnosis. It's the hypnosis of money. This is the one-day chart with Litecoin. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. And again, Litecoin is the affordable currency at Coinbase that a lot of the new people go, well, wow, Bitcoin's expensive and Bitcoin Cash is expensive and Ethereum is expensive. Maybe I'll buy a little of this Litecoin stuff, right? I can afford $238 to get one, right? So Litecoin still has potential, people. And we did have a little mini attempt at a boost. It failed. But that's just like nothing is kind of cranking right now unless there's huge amounts of marketing and hype. And Litecoin doesn't have marketing and hype. It really doesn't. Charlie Lee is like the least marketing, least hype guy. And now that he has divested himself of his holdings in Litecoin, like it's ours now, supposedly. I don't know how all that works, but if you think it's going to go, this is not a bad price. It's close to the bottom of its channel here, but it doesn't look like it's going to get any cheaper. You know what I mean? It looks like it's holding its price fairly well. So Litecoin's been on my list. I haven't made a move into it, but it's something I would definitely consider and just thinking about it. Neo, I started to do it yesterday, and then I kind of got distracted by a little news item. Neo is just way up. Don't even think about getting in. It's just up. But I think Quantum is destined for this neighborhood, the $100 coin. I think EOS is going to be there. I think Cardano is going to be a $100 coin, and I don't know how long it's going to take him to get there, but I think it's going to happen. Let's go to Omise Go. I think Omise Go is going to be a $100 coin. The question is, when and how long does it need to go sideways before it boosts again? All right, so let's look at it on a one-day chart first before we dial in. You see how up it is when you look at the one-day chart? The 1 hour chart can be really deceptive. It's way up. So if it's making a little sideways range, it's sideways, but it's way up. So it may need more time to work its way into, its new price pattern. But I got some. I don't have that much, but I got some. And I don't think I'm going to sell it yet. Quantum. Oh, I didn't look at the 1 day. I mean the 1 hour. Do you want me to look at the 1 hour? I kind of feel like this is so excruciatingly boring to people. but I'll look at it. So over here, if we're adjusting our little channel, it's kind of mellowing out a little bit, right? The bottoms are still a little higher, but it is mellowing out. It has touched down to the 30 here, but it didn't cross it. So to me, it's looking like sideways channel, and it looks like the 50 hour is kind of getting ready to kind of come down here, but it has landed, getting some support from the 200 hour. So I think it's good. It's holding its value. That's what I like. It's holding its value. And really that's today what I'm getting is the stuff is holding its value. It's just not moving up. It's just kind of hanging because there seems to be that what's next kind of uncertainty in the market. Okay, now we can go to Quantum. Let's pull it back to a 1 day. And I sold all my Quantum, and I think I'm ready to get back in. I may do that this morning, particularly if it comes back down to this line. But I wanted to get in below 52 because I got in at 52 the last time, took my profits, and I want to get back in below there. So I may do that today. That looks good. And we'll see if by the time I'm done with all this video stuff, it's holding. Ripple has come back. And I think we need Ripple to do some sideways stuff for a couple of days at least. Come on, Ripple. How about some going sideways? But it's kind of going down. And so a lot of the bulls who think, oh, it was just a momentary pause because when Ripple gets to $7, it'll be bigger than Bitcoin. Well, it's got some work to do, right? But I would say Ripple is going to get a lot of hype from the mainstream media because it's owned by the people that own the media. Just keep that in mind. The media is owned by the pharmaceutical companies, by the banks, by Wall Street, by the food companies, by the car companies, by the companies that actually depend on TV advertising to sell stuff to people in America, right? So just keep an eye on that. I will make money with Ripple, and it might be, it's down to this old support range here. So it could not hold its last boost. That was total hype driven. So I'm going to watch it a little bit. If it goes into any kind of sideways stuff or it comes back down here, I might get a little more Ripple. I don't know. We'll see. And I skipped Monero. Monero steady up on the bottoms, but it's been choppy. You could swing trade this almost every day, every couple of days. When it comes down, boom, get some. When it goes up, sell it. That could be cool. A pattern you can trade. The sideways stuff is tricky, and it's moving up. So I'm going to keep an eye on Monero. If it comes down again here, I might get some. I think I have one just to get into it. And Zcash, also a privacy coin. The privacy coins seem to be doing pretty well. Zcash boosted, but it couldn't hold it. Kind of look for a sideways action there. But this is the pattern that I see over and over again. Multiple tops, rising bottoms, and a boost, right? And it may come all the way back, which is why once it starts boosting and comes back to old resistance, I get out. So that's really, if you want an indicator, you get in down here, and when it starts approaching its old kind of level, then you get out, right? It doesn't always work all the time. Sometimes it goes away and you don't get in, or you're out, But that's it. There's no guarantees in this business, all right, people? People, there's no guarantees in this business. Now, Cardano is looking against Bitcoin. Looks pretty good against Bitcoin. And let's look at against the US dollar. This is where I got clobbered, okay? I got back in at $1. Ouch. I got back in at $1, people. Let's make this bigger here so you can see the depth of my folly. I took a pretty big position at $1. And I think it's going back there. So I'm hanging, I'm holding. But I'll just move this line. This is where I'm in at $1. And it has come down to 72 cents. So, right now, if you're not too early like me, now's the time to get in. I should have waited till now, right? This is why I'm a little pissed at myself. But again, it's tuition, people, and it's learning. And Cardano, for me, is a long-term hold. And I made profits. And getting in at $1, I got in with my profits. I sold it $1.05. I sold it $1.07. I sold it $1.17. I sold it $1.27. And I sold it all. So I reinvested my profits at $1 because I saw this sideways range, but then it just couldn't. I thought it was holding, but I didn't give it enough time. And that's really the lesson for me. Let this be a lesson to you, young lads and gals. Sometimes after things really boost, particularly young projects, we need a little bit more time for them to lock in their new price. And the one-day chart is kind of pathetic. It's too short. It's US dollar tether. I have. Let me go to the Bitcoin one because I think it's got more data. So, but it had these boosts, and you see these sideways ranges are longer. Before the setups before the boosts. So this is probably going to pick back up. It'll probably actually hang around about at $1 for a while. So we'll see. And let's go to the 1 hour here. And so doesn't look as bad on the Bitcoin chart as it does on the US dollar chart. But that's the deal, There's something called risk in this, people. The markets don't always go the way you think they should. And that's why studying them obsessively and compulsively like I do every day, there's something I learn. And sometimes I don't really like what I have to learn, but I have to learn it. And this is how I'm learning it. Let's go back to the US dollar tether chart. I think in US dollars, so that just gives me, and I try to look at both the Bitcoin and the US dollar charts. So I'm in at $1, and the market is significantly beneath me. But I don't think it's going to stay there long, and hopefully it will rise. It will rise again. And so we continue to learn here on the Morning Cryptos, the Crypto Cranker's Guide to the Bitcoin Galaxy of Greedy Grooviness and People. That's all I got for you today. Hopefully that's enough excruciating blah, blah, blah for you. And this is what I do all day, every day. And if you put in the work, sometimes you make money. And if you put in the work, sometimes you don't make money. And sometimes you got to be patient. Sometimes you get triggered by, oh, why did I do that? Or, oh, I just put all my profits into Bitcoin and now it just dropped by $2,000. Right? Sometimes that happens. So you want to be able to keep that mindset, as almost everybody says in all their videos, only invest money you are prepared to lose. And be prepared for volatility. The volatility ultimately is our friend. So I just want to kind of lock that into our unconscious minds, that the volatility is our friend. And it's all about learning how to dance with the volatility and to think slightly contrarily, right? So when the crowd is going one way, we want to either go the other way or sell stuff to the crowd. And I like the idea of selling stuff to the crowd, but you have to buy stuff in order to have it to sell to the crowd. So you got to get in earlier than the crowd, and sometimes you're in too early. So you got to be prepared to maybe get in at different stages and then get out at different stages. So that's kind of what I'm learning. And the lesson for Cardano for me is I should have just committed some of it to Cardano, but I was feeling like I had a moment where Bitcoin was up and I wanted to take my profits and put it someplace where it wouldn't be, where it wouldn't deteriorate. And I thought, because of this pattern here on Cardano, I thought it was holding. So I got in at $1 and I thought I did really well at $1. But if this coin goes to $100, like I think it will within the year, getting in at $1 will seem like that was a really good price, right? So think of things in different ways and try on different scenarios and find a way every day so that even the things that seem like they're not in your favor are really an opportunity for you to learn, for you to get experience, for you to go, okay, all of this is adding up to becoming a brilliant trader, to being able to pull money out of these markets at will so that you are in charge of your financial change for a change. And then you get to keep some of the change and do fun things with your life. Go fun places, have excruciatingly wonderful experiences and high quality goods and services in your life, right? That's what this is all about. And at the end of the day, every day ends and the next day begins. All right, so that's it for today. My name is Mark Shepard. This has been The Morning Cryptos, and I really appreciate your time and attention, and your willingness to learn, and your willingness to kind of observe me learning in front of you, and earn while you learn, people. And you never know it all. And if you're a know-it-all, you're going to fall, because you got to have that beginner's mind every day. Begin again and go, okay, didn't know that, now I know that. Hadn't experienced that, now I have. And so take a look at Bitcoin Cash. I think it's about to pop, but I could be early. I could be too early. However, there seems to be quite a bit of support, and it's kind of going on and on here. We have a lot. Just trying to make a little picture for you. So that's a wedge if I've ever seen a wedge, and it's tightening down. It may not be ready yet. It may not be ready for another week, but it might go today. Who knows? All right, that's it. Let's start the music. I'll see you in the next one. I love you guys. Out of here.